Welcome to the 1989 Marti's versus Bruins local A-grade Southern Basketball League game at Moona Sports Centre. This game is being commentated 31 years after the game took place, so we'll fill in the names of players, etc. as we go, as there's a steal by Greg Franks off Mark Tholborn. Greg Franks off to the line for Marty's, makes the 2 points, gets fouled by Mark Tholborn and goes up for one shot. The Marty's are in the white, and we've got Bruins in the green.
So is it green? It looks black on our screen here, Glenn. Looked like it. But was it a dark green top back then?
Yeah, it was a dark green. Oh, yeah, I guess so. It definitely is green, though. As we've got Mark Tholborn bringing the ball down the court again. I'm sure he's going to look after it a bit more this time as he passes off to John Anderson, who's an American player for them. Chris Massey for a three-point shot. And the ball's out, and referee Peter Tholborn gives the ball to Marty's.
Right, so Marty's down the floor here, so that's Flint.
Yep, Greg Linton.
Oh, Greg Linton, sorry. Not Flint, my apologies. So Linton. Then they turn it over and Bruins get it back.
So it's from Tholborn, who brings the ball up the court again over to Chris Simons with the nice drive. Misses. Greg Finlayson with the rebound for Marty's over to Greg Franks. Franks back over to Linton, and they're going to steady things down for Marty's. Linton for the shot on the 45, misses. Rebound by John Anderson of Bruins. And Mark Tholborn brings the ball down the court once again. Deflected, and there's a turnover. Marty's have got the ball now with Greg Franks driving. Good hands around the back from Mark Tholborn and gives Marty's the ball on the side. So with the team list here, we've got, we'll try and get through it as best we can. We've actually got a number of players that are playing in this game and referee that have passed away. So we'll go through that as we go. We've got, unfortunately, the people that we've got who have passed away that are playing in this game are Chris Massey, John Anderson, Ray Stearns, and referee Peter Tholborn. So, so they're all sadly missed within the local basketball community. But the teams are, so for Marty's, we've got Phil Clark, Greg Linton, Steve Davey, Greg Franks, Darren Stamix, Greg Finlayson. And for Bruins, we've got Chris Massey, who's on the line for two shots. John Anderson, Malcolm DeJersey, Ray Stearns, Dean Burke, Chris Simons, Mark Tholborn, and coach is Tony Smith for Bruins.
Two good real hard teams there, Glenn. It looks like it's going to be an exciting contest.
Yeah, there's a lot of players back here, some that are sort of winding up their careers back in 89. And some that are just starting their careers as well. So it's good to see the mix of youth and, I guess, veteran players in the same game.
So the ball with Marty's as they move it around and they turn it over once again. And Chris Simons goes all the way and gets it to go on the layup there. Chris Simons with a 2 there and extends the lead there for the Bruins.
Yeah, Bruins are... They're playing really well thus far. They've probably got I think they're up by a few points as early stages of the game. They seem to be running the ball really well and good teamwork as Mark Tholborn gets a nice pass.
From Chris Massey there.
And he puts in another 2 points. So it's a great run there. Good teamwork there from Chris Massey over to Tholborn, and then in the prior play with Chris Simons finishing off a drive.
The last 2 trips have been good on transition for the Bruins, and then Darren Stanwicks gets that one to go.
Yeah, Darren Stanwicks is obviously one of the well-known Stanwicks brothers, and was a former NBL player back in his day, and one of Tasmania's best players that's ever come out of the state. So. And
the 2 made there for the Bruins. I just missed who made that, Glenn. So
yeah, I couldn't quite see either. I think the camera was just a bit out of whack. So
the ball getting kicked around here. It's with Linton. Is that Linton?
Greg Linton over to Greg Finlayson.
Yes. So back to Franks now. It's over to Stanwicks. has to... Oh, nice dump pass into Franks. Can't get that one to go. Good defence there by Anderson. Ball up the floor. Now referee's called a foul.
Yeah, and the referees Darren Wilson and Peter Tholborn, as I mentioned before. So a couple of referees that everyone liked back in the day. They also were pretty social. Like all the teams after the games always went back to pubs.
Yep.
So the referees would tag along as well. So they were just as good of friends with everyone as the players were. So it was good times back in those days.
Greg Finlayson puts up the shot there. Unfortunately, he missed everything. And ball goes to the side. And Mark Falborn comes down with it now. So he goes exploring. Looking inside to Anderson. Again, good pressure there that was Finlayson there. Now Franks is off and running. Good pass to Linton, who couldn't make the layup. And now the Bruins will come back down the floor.
And Chris Simons picks up a nice rebound there. He was an up-and-coming player back then, so look to see Chris Simons have a big influence on this game.
Another turnover as Franks makes the 2, and the Martis are willing this margin back and trying to get level pegging here as Chris Simons puts up a runner. That doesn't go. Nearly gets his own rebound. Finlayson there. I'm hearing plenty of whistles from the other court as well too, Glenn.
Yeah, court 3, so I think the camera's obviously back up there, just up the top there.
Yes. Third time lucky? No. Anderson able to get the rebound, and he is off and running. Gives it off to... Tholborn, yep. Kicks it to Simons for the mid-range. Yes. Chris Simons from the free throw.
And he's got the strut going backwards. So
Look at that.
He's pumped.
And he claps his hands, and he's revving this Bruins team up, who are leading currently in this game. Stanwick's for the response, not there. Franks has the rebound. And then Linton tries his luck and is successful.
Yeah, nice shot from the top of the key there. Greg Linton was a very good shooter and made no mistake there. It's I think these teams, from memory, were 3rd and 4th on the ladder come at the end of the comp as John Anderson gets another 2 points in.
And siren goes off in the background, Glenn?
Yeah, and a timeout called. So the 1989 grand final, A grade and A reserve of this same year are on the YouTube.
You give your YouTube channel a plug, mate. Where we go.
So if you haven't heard of it before or seen this video before, just go to Glenn Fairfield with a double N on YouTube, and you'll be able to watch this game and many more. But yeah, this is the 89 roster game, and then we've got the grand finals of the A reserve, A grade and B grade, all on my YouTube channel. So it just gives everyone the opportunity to see some old faces from the past as well. But we're concentrating on this game now, and it's been a good start from Bruins thus far. It's great to see. As we said, we talked about some of the people that are no longer with us, in Chris Massey, Ray Stearns, who's just come on the court now, Peter Tholborn, the referee, and John Anderson, the US import for Bruins, all playing. So hopefully everyone will be able, that's watching this game, will be able to remember all the good times they had with those guys, because they were pretty well-known people down in Hobart, especially Ray, Chris, and Peter, who are all Hobart locals for all their lives. So very special people in a lot of people's lives.
So Linton puts up a 2, can't get the one to go. Anderson with a big rebound there. And
started off well, hasn't he, Ronnie?
He has. Anderson's played well so far in these opening minutes of the game. And a ball with Stearns at the top there, moving around to, looks like...
Malcolm de Jersey's number 7.
Oh, yes, Malcolm de Jersey, yes. Chris Simons.
Looks like he got a bit of a...
Gets a little bit of contact and has to keep
quick
going.
hands from Greg Linton. As Darren Stanwick puts another 2 points in. So it's going to be a good tussle between John Anderson and Darren Stanwick. It's just a matter of who gets the most help, I think, from his teammates as to probably the outcome of this game.
So ball getting moved around, and Chris Massey there got the ball stripped away. Stanwick's through to Franks, back to Stanwick's, and gets the 2. Nice teamwork there by Marti's.
Good teamwork, veteran plays. And, Darren Stanwick is a very good finisher and was known as a great player inside the key to finish off.
So ball going inside, but Stanwicks equal to the challenge defensively. And offensive foul's being called on Darren Stanwicks. And Chris Massey there with the defensive play.
I think Chris Massey there really did a good job on the referee and sucked Darren Stanwicks in and made the contact look a bit worse than what it was. But at the end of the day, he got the charge call and Bruins have got the ball on the side. So well done to Chris Massey.
So Bruins to restart from the side. Now Massey decides to go from deep and gets it to go. A three-pointer there by Chris Massey.
Great shot there from Chris Massey. He had a nice outside shot. He had a good all-round game, actually. Very good junior. And it's good to see him hitting the big three-pointers in this game.
Just having a quick look there at the bench there. The coach and his team there looking very intensely.
Yeah, and we've got Steve Davey on the court as well now. Another well-known Hobart name, former Tassie Devils player. So look for Steve to come on and make his presence felt.
Absolutely. Stearns now to Anderson. Anderson pulls up just short.
Franks for the rebound.
Yep, Franks there with a good rebound. And now...
I was going to say again, they're very skilled, very, very well drilled and well skilled guards that were produced back in this day and age. So it's really good to see Greg Linton, Greg Franks, Steve Davey, Ray Stearns sort of playing at the end of their careers, and Greg Finlayson playing at the end of their careers, and just sort of seeing how much value and knowledge and that they had of the game.
And a turnover by Marti's. Stearns back to Anderson. And Anderson gets the finger roll to go.
I think that might have been Massey got that one in then. So Stearns to Massey, Massey over to Anderson, and Anderson finished. So Anderson's a big unit, isn't he?
He certainly is, Glenn. He's certainly one of the more taller players out on the court there. And certainly back in those days, if you were a tall player, you certainly had an advantage.
Yeah, and then we got one of the smallest players on the court getting the rebound, Ray Stearns, and a fast break transition play, and John Anderson finishes off for a nice 2 points. So a great rebound there from Ray Stearns at the defensive end to help his team get the 2 points at the other end.
So
Greg Franks at the top of the key.
For the two, as we're pretty much a fair, or I'd say 5-8 minutes into this first half, Glenn.
Yeah, we would be, and as we haven't seen many. There's probably only been 1 or 2 3-point shots for the whole game thus far, which in today's day and age, 2020, there's more shots. There's so many more shots from outside than outside the 3-point line. So I think the 3-point line, the players that are playing now, their shots are they were used to shooting inside the 3-point line.
Oh, look out it! We just went to something from Darkwing Duck. And now we're back to the action. Apologies there, folks, as Greg Franks gets the layup to go.
As Chris Simons missed a layup, what appeared to be a miss down the other end, which is uncharacteristic of Chris. Tholborn for the rebound, offensive rebound. Good to see Mark getting inside for crashing the boards. He's had a big 3-point shot here, and it's just missed. And Chris Simons for the hook shot. For the sky hook, actually, but didn't go in. And there's a foul there on Mark Tholborn. So a good defensive rebound there by Steve Davey. And good pressure applied by Mark Tholborn, although he fouled Steve, and it'll be Marti's ball on the side after this timeout. So I've got Coach Tony Smith talking to his Bruins players.
Looks like he's pointing something to the defensive end here, Glenn, and certainly just trying to, look at a few things to try to fix.
Yeah, I just think that Marti's at the moment, they've got such good shooters in Greg Linton and Greg Franks that they want to try and slow those guys down and not let them shoot from the top of the key in spots where they generally make their shots. So they're very good shooters, and I think Bruins want to limit those two guys as they are. And
some good passing inside there, and Stanwicks gets it to go off the turnaround jumper.
And I'm sure that's another thing that Bruins will want to slow down is the skill of Darren Stanwicks. When he gets the ball, he's very hard to stop. As Mark Tholborn has a shot just on the side of the key and misses, and Steve Davey runs it down the court to Greg Linton, and it's white ball after it being hit around the back. I think it might have been by Mark Tholborn of Greg Franks. So Linton with the ball over to Stanwicks again. Stanwicks Another 2 points for Darren Stammick, so he's piling on the points early on, getting into his groove after some good passing inside to him.
Now, referee's called a travel there on Ray Stearns.
I'm not sure what happened there. Ray sort of looked down at his feet to say what happened, but I wasn't paying too much attention either to see if he did move his feet. But
must have moved his feet if the referee's made the call there, Glenn.
Peter Tholborn's normally pretty good as referee, so I'd say that would have been a travel, and Ray would have been questioning it just as he did, even whether he was right or wrong. That's just how Ray was sometimes. So it's Marty's ball.
Yes, they'll come down the floor now here, Glenn, and work their way through as Linton puts up the shot. He couldn't get that one to go.
We've got Dean Burke on now, so
yep. Dean Burke,
good
pass to Chris Simons, and Simons gets fouled, and he'll go to the line for 2.
Yeah, that's a body foul there from Darren Stammick. So we've got Dean Burke coming into the game, so that's another lot of fresh legs for Bruins, and come 2020 in the future, Dean's actually is the head coach of the Australian Defence Force team. So
certainly was. He was back here. He was here in Tasmania back in, I think it was 2018 or 2017, Glenn, when they took on the Hobart Chargers in an exhibition game.
Yeah, so it's good to see Dean, being playing back here when he was just a young bloke growing up, probably about 20 years of age.
So Steve Davey with the ball carrying duties here, and ball getting moved around once again, and next stoppage will come out, Glenn. I'll talk about the style play here too. It's a very interesting style, but a good style as the ball goes inside. And now is that counted, or is that a 3-second violation?
3 seconds, I think.
3-second violation. So Stearns bring the ball up here for Marty's now. Around the back, Stearns goes. Tries to kick it out. That nearly went into the second row, but Anderson was able to recover and get the 2. So Linton coming down the floor here. Now to Davey. Finlayson from the top of the key. Tried to go off glass. Couldn't get that one to go. And then Dean Burke with the ball. Goes up. Protects himself quite well. He draws the foul. Will go to line for 1. Great play there by Dean Burke.
Slowed himself down as he was coming up the court, just ready to ready to shoot the ball, and Pete Tholborn, has called a foul on Darren Stammick, who Darren was not happy at all about that call. However, Dean Burke used his smarts, drew the contact, and put the basket in, and then made the foul shot. So a nice 3-point play there from Dean Burke.
Well done to Dean Burke. Good job, young fella. So Steve Davey. Now Linton, Finlayson in turn, back to Davey. Davey strong. Anderson there to reject it through. Stearns with the ball now, so Bruins come up the floor once again. Burke going for back-to-back baskets. Can't get that one to go. Ball getting slapped around everywhere. Ball now kicked down the court. Davey over Stearns. Stearns with some good hands. And he comes up with the goods as he comes down the floor. Anderson back to Stearns. Stearns thought about it. Had to turn it down. Froze a bit of an elbow there. Anderson for the 2. The referees are letting them play. And the ball goes out from Stammick, and Bruins will get it back.
And Steve Davey just had a word to Peter Tholborn. Then he wasn't happy about both plays in the 2 play phases that just took place then. But the good thing was that Steve Davey and Ray Stearns were great mates. So, what happens on the court used to stay on the court for those guys.
Yes.
So bit of friendly banter between the two, and they'll try and suck the referees in if they could, although the referee didn't get sucked in then. So it was play on, and Ray Stearns has got the ball on the sideline.
So Stearns will start us off here.
Tholborn with the ball.
Yes, Tholborn.
Chris Simons looks open at the top of the key.
He does, but Burke thinking about it, goes to him now. And then Stearns from the elbow, just long. Oh, Simo with the rebound. Couldn't get that one to go. And now we're at the MCG. Australia taking on India. And now we're going back to the Moona Sports Centre where play continues. And I think Chris Simons might have hit a shot or missed a shot, Glenn. We're not sure.
Yeah, we'll give Chris the benefit of the doubt, and we'll give him the 2 points.
All right, there we go. So
because he's the one that supplied us the video.
And yes, he did. And Marty's making 2 down the upper end of the floor as we've gone to all places. We've gone to Cartoon Land to the MCG. Now back to the Moona Sports Centre as the ball goes up here. I would question what Simo's got on this tape, but anyway, we'll come back to the basketball. Franks is coming down the floor now here for Marty's, and Marty's looking to find their way back into this ball game. Finlayson has to think about it and goes cross court. Now ball getting moved around. Some good passing and moving here by Marty's. Now the ball.
Actually, with the 30-second clock, there was a lot more passing back then, and and it's good to see. There's probably as one thing we have both noticed so far. Like I know I have, and I know you're the same thing. We haven't seen many screens in this game.
That's
which is
right.
Very unusual for basketball back in that era. As John Anderson gets another 2 points, there used to be some big screens, and when you got hit by a screen back then, you didn't generally get up that well.
It'd be a hard hit kind of screen. But yes, this style of play that we're seeing here, Glenn, is just good passing, good movement, and then they're really looking inside most of the time. So they try to go into the big fella there on that occasion. But you can tell it's pass move, open shot or inside look or drive to the basket.
Yeah, and it is. It's more about teamwork, which is great to see. There's obviously the individual players that had the brilliance, but as a team, there's a lot of players here that they didn't care if someone threw 50 points. As long as the team won, that was the main thing. So as Malcolm de Jersey gets a nice shot on the 45 for a jump shot. So nice shot from Malcolm de Jersey there. As Greg Finlayson has the ball for Marty, setting it up for them to see what they can come up with. Nice pass inside to Greg.
Good pass. Franks with the 2 there.
Layup.
So Marty's working their way back into this ball game. Now Bruins, can they get a response out of this? Shot goes up. That missed everything.
Finlayson with the rebound again.
Now ball coming down the floor here, but ball goes out of court.
That's Mark Shivers on the court there, actually.
It could potentially be, Glenn.
It is Mark Shivers down the bottom right-hand corner there.
There you go.
Probably the last year that, it is Mark Shivers. So that's good to see. Mark, former Hobart Chargers coach.
Former Hobart Tassie Devils assistant coach as well too. As Franks puts it up, can't get that one to go.
So I'm pretty sure this would have been the last year that Greg Franks, Greg Linton, Mark Shivers, Steve Davey, and a few others have played.
Looks like a foul's going to be called on Shivers. And Chris Simons took a bit of a hard knock there.
Mate, he needs to toughen up a little bit, I think, the old kid. The young fella.
Siren goes off in the background again, and looks like, what do we got? No. Coach there checking on how many timeouts he's got left. Meanwhile, the shot goes up there. Couldn't get that one to go from Malcolm de Jersey.
Good effort by Chris Simons to keep that ball in there.
Very good hustle. Now, ball with Anderson at the elbow. Into Simons. Simons puts it up and gets it a go. Chris Simons on the fire here at the Moona Sports Centre.
He is starting to show us what he was made of back then now. And he's at the top of the key. Is still the favourite spot for Chris Simons to hit shots. So it's good to see that he was hitting them back in 1989.
Absolutely. No, great vision to see here. Whistle going off ball here. Looks like an offensive foul's been called.
I'm not sure who that was on then. We've got a team control foul, I believe.
Now, timeout being called here, Glenn.
It's referees Peter Tholborn and Darren Wilson are having a good control, I guess, over this game thus far. They're letting the players run, but then they're also picking up the fouls that are pretty obvious.
So we've got Steenberg at the line here for 2, Glenn, and obviously the team control foul, meaning that it's still a normal foul, so you can go to the line.
I'm not sure what happened then. I'm not sure whether they'd lost the ball or passed it in the mid-air.
I'm not sure. I'm just going off.
It's Peter Tholborn's just got in Steve Davies' way when he's going to get the ball. And the ball's gone out off Peter Tholborn, who is part of the game, and Steve Davies was not happy, but I'm sure they would have had a beer after the game and had a laugh about it.
Absolutely.
No
referee being part of the floor, so not much you can do if, unfortunately, the ball comes their way and it hits them or deflects off them. So not much you can do sometimes as Simo gives it back.
Burke should have shot that then.
Yep.
Chris Simons had set up a good screen for him to shoot an open shot.
So ball getting moved around here. Now, good
Burke.
touch passing there, and the 2 being made there by Burke.
Great shot there from Dean Burke. He's been a really good spark off the bench after taking Mark Tholborn out, and it's good to see Burke getting a few baskets.
So Franks with it. Goes cross court. Shot goes up there from Linton. Couldn't get that one to go. Stanwicks with the rebound. Goes off glass. Couldn't get it to go. Linton gets the rebound. And draws a foul.
And go to the line for 2 shots. Good boards there from Greg Linton. He's not the tallest player on the court, but he kept at it and ended up getting fouled, and he's got 2 shots.
Some good fight on the boards, Glenn, as we're seeing from both teams on the rebounding effort. No one wants to give up an offensive rebound, really.
Oh, exactly right. And I just like the way that the teamwork, like, you know, the extra pass is really evident in this game that we're watching thus far to try and get a teammate open.
And Linton makes 2 of 2.
Very consistent 3-3 shooter throughout his time. He played for the Tassie Devils as well, so very good player back in his day.
Simons had the ball deflected, and now Stanwicks has it and gets down the floor. Good touch pass there by Franks back to Stanwicks, and the 2 being made.
Nice finish there by Darren Stanwicks, who created the play by getting the steal up at the defensive end initially as well. So, and another rebound from Darren Stanwicks, so he's starting to really rack up his stats, individual stats. So Stanwicks, another 2 points.
Lovely
there.
Little finger roll there. You think he's going to dunk it there, Glenn?
I think so, but I think it's probably easier just to get the 2 points in, although he could dunk quite well.
So a mini run looks like being on here by Marti's. Shot goes up, and then Finlayson can't get it on the halftime buzzer.
I'd say it wouldn't have counted by the looks of that anyway. I think the siren had just gone before Greg Finlayson tried to put it up.
So Marti's with a late run in that first half, and have drawn the margin back. And can the Bruins hold on here in this second half to take the win? Yeah,
it's been a very entertaining game thus far. Been great to go back to 1989 to see, you know, some old familiar faces, and as we said, some faces that aren't here now. So hopefully we're able to present to everyone that's watching this game a lot of great memories for you all. As we go
Absolutely.
Up to the tap, Anderson Stanwicks wins the tap for Marty's over to Greg Linton for the 2.
He followed his shot, got his own rebound, and Finlayson was able to get it.
Nice
puts it up and gets it to go.
Pretty close game so far. It's just going to be a matter of which team really gets on a bit of a run now, I guess. It's Ray Stearns has a nice shot.
Just long. Anderson nearly gets that rebound. Ball last touch by Anderson. So Marty's to get it back as ball being brought up here now by Linton. Goes to Finlayson.
Nice pass inside by Greg Linton.
Goes inside. Now the shot goes up and it goes down, and Marty's scored a first opening 2 baskets of this second half, Glenn.
Yeah, so it's Bruins are going to have to go back to what they started off doing in the first start of the part of the game to get their lead back up a bit more, I think.
Yeah,
it's Chris Massey. He hits the side of the backboard.
Missed everything there.
Bit unusual for Chris Massey.
Anderson for the 2, yes.
Yeah, very reliable player, John Anderson was, especially in the local league down in Hobart.
So, yeah. Now the shot goes up by Linton, and he gets the response there.
Nice shot there. I think Ray Stearns next time will probably close the gap in the defence to not allow Linton to get open. As
foot
the ball
violation.
Came off Greg Franks' foot, so it's a reset of 30 seconds.
Yes, it was 30 seconds back in those days, Glenn.
I think that's why there's so many more passes than what we see these days. But
So ball getting moved around here by the Bruins.
We noticed that Bruins have 2 high posts up generally at the top of the key.
Yes, Anderson makes another 2 there, Glenn.
Nice pass from Chris Massey over to Anderson at the top of the key. So, yeah, they're running Chris Simons and John Anderson at the top of the key, and they are doing really well, both guys, in the scoring department from Bruins. As Chris Massey gets a rebound but throws a bit wild with a pass.
Bit too much mustard on that one, Glenn.
Yeah, so we've got Marty's ball on the side. And the stadium wouldn't have changed too much, Ronnie. I think there's been a lick of... I think the colour of the stadium's probably green now, I believe. But other than that, the stadium hasn't changed at all.
Well, I've been seeing the Moona Sports Centre since 2004, and yes, not a whole lot has changed in that in this venue. So
they've changed the the scoreboard a little bit too now, I think.
Yeah, the scoreboard's changed over time, of course, and many things at that sports centre have changed in little ways.
And it's good to see the canteen
the canteen's open there.
Keeping busy there. People are coming in and forward, so that's something that doesn't happen nowadays.
It does happen a little bit. It does happen a little bit during the junior seasons.
In the seniors, it's they don't play at Moona
No.
anymore. No. So.
Yeah, Stearns
at the top
puts
of
up
the
the
key.
shot. Can he get the roll? Yes.
Great shot. What a beautiful pass there from Mark Tholborn over to Ray Stearns. Two great buddies they were, and Mark always would look for Ray because he knew Ray was a great shot as he finished off there.
Stanwicks for the response, can't get that to go. And then Linton rejected by Simons. Get that out of here, he says.
Tholborn coming down the court over to Anderson for a nice easy two.
Beautiful work there by the Bruins, and it all started by Chris Simons with the big rejection there to start that play.
It was. Then Tholborn got it off to Mr. Reliable John Anderson for the nice easy 2 points at the other end.
And now Stearns with a good deflection and gets his own ball back.
So Bruins are having a bit of a run again now. So
yes.
Oh, and there's a turnover as well as Greg Franks.
He couldn't get that one to go. Foul. Now it's a hands foul. Looks like it's on Franks, I think.
No, I think
or
it was
it
the
other one on Stearns?
Stearns, I think. So a couple of turnovers, for a turnover each for either team, and we've got Marty's ball on the side. As Finlayson has the ball over to Franks. Nice
good
pass over to Stanwicks, and Stanwicks puts in a nice basket. Great teamwork again. So both teams, I'm really appreciating the teamwork that both these teams are displaying in this game from what we're seeing tonight.
Absolutely.
31 years later.
Stearns for three. That's short. And now Marty's to get it back, but they've coughed it up there with a wild errant pass, and Stearns will come down the floor here.
Second steal there for Stearns. We'll give it to him as a steal. So as Chris Massey goes to have a shot.
Massey from the corner.
Oh,
not
bit
this.
of an air ball.
Simons.
And there's Phil Clark on the court, number 4, I think he is, for Marty's. Former state player. So it's good to see Phil Clark getting a few minutes in this game.
And these are people that you have played against, Glenn, obviously back when this was around. I was only a baby.
Yeah, no, we actually won A grade this season of 1989. So,
yep.
But yeah, and been friends with all these players for many, many years. So it's really good to see these guys playing each other.
Simons couldn't get that one to go, and then he gets that one to go.
He is pumped. There's a double.
Fourth time lucky, and isn't he excited? I've never seen him that excited in my entire life.
4 high fives, and then a bit of a shake of the perm that he's got there. So
yes, it would be very good hairstyle Chris Simons has got there back in the day.
We all had very good hairstyles back then, or very bad.
Oh my. And gets the free throw to go. He's only missed one from the free throw line tonight. Other than that, he's about a good 90% from the free throw line.
And his style's not changed. His free throw style's not changed since 1989 to current 2020.
That's right. I can vouch for that. My word, I can. As Finlayson does a good job on the rebounding contest.
Phil Clark over to Stanwicks inside for 2 shots. I think Ray Stearns may have fouled him on that instance. I think. Whichever way, Stanwicks is going to the line for 2 shots. We've got a timeout. So Tony Smith is going to have a good talk to his troops and get them to calm down and keep working the ball well to hopefully, for Bruins' perspective, to continue extending the lead that they would have. But it'd be pretty close, I imagine. Like, we don't have the scores in front of us.
No, we don't. Apologies for that, folks. We don't. We'll have a final score for you at the game, but it certainly would be a close game at the moment, Glenn.
They're both sort of going in spurts, aren't they?
They certainly are. It's been a game of runs, just about.
It's just a matter of which team gets the most runs, I guess, which will get them over the line at the end of the game. So.
And I think a few costly turnovers as well too. I've kind of seen both teams make turnovers just off some errant passes, or just or just a couple of times where they've lost the handle a little bit on their dribbles. So.
As Stamix misses his first foul shot, normally
he's pretty good at the line here, Darren Stamix.
Yeah. Well, he was one of the best players growing up in Australia. He was one of the number one players in his age group and representing Australia and at the Institute of Sport. Played Devils, sort of did it all. I think he led the scoring and rebounding at the World.
As Anderson knocks down the mid-range
University games. So he's a class act. Darren Stamix was, as was his two brothers, Warren and Brennan as well.
Yep. So Marti's with the ball now. The shot goes up by Clark. Couldn't get that one to go. Anderson with another rebound. He's got a double-double already. Simons puts it up and gets used for a friendly roll. And he's fired up. Look at Simo. He loves it.
He has got that high five pump happening. But deservedly so. It was a great finish from Chris Simons then after a baseball pass from John Anderson. I think Chris Massey may have got a tech foul for
it could have been delayed game.
Deflecting the ball.
Yep.
So I presume the team had must have had a warning prior for that to happen. It's unlike Chris Massey back when he played to ever contest any call of a referee unless it was a blatantly bad call, because he reffed himself as well, and he was a fantastic ref. So
and free throw being made there, Glenn.
Yeah, nice shot there from Greg Linton. A very consistent, as I said, a very consistent shooter. It was always reliable from the 3-point line.
And he gets the second one to go. So two from the line.
Free throw line, sorry, yeah. As Tholborn brings the ball down the court with Greg Franks putting a lot of pressure on him. Chris Simons.
He nearly muddles that one up, but well recovered. And now Anderson, a little pump fake, and the turnaround J's good for John Anderson.
Yeah, he's a tough player, wasn't he? So it's been a great battle between John Anderson and Darren Stamix tonight. I think their output will be pretty even, I'd imagine.
Certainly. As Stamix for the response, can't get that one to go. Linton. And a good rebound there by Linton, and he got fouled. It looks like he'll go to the line for two.
So Linton back to the line.
No, side ball.
After the shot.
Afterwards. So looking for play to restart now, and does so. Steve Davey. Ball getting moved around. Stamix puts up a tough little runner and banks it off the window for two. And then the quick pass already down the floor as Chris Massey has it.
That was a nice pass from Steve Davey. Just saw Stamix in the middle. As we got John
nice
Anderson.
drive by John Anderson. Textbook drive to the basket there, Glenn.
Straight between two opponents there. Great finish on his left.
And
Linton again from top of the key. That's a nice shot.
Good response.
Yeah, very nice shot from Linton. He's hit another one of those just a few minutes back, actually. So you got to get up on that shot of his. Otherwise, he doesn't miss very often.
Simons with the pass, and they're good inside now to Anderson. And again, a good little triangle passing on that play there, Glenn.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if Darren Stamix might be in foul trouble, because there's been the last two shots of Anderson. He hasn't been able to, although he's been in the vicinity, he hasn't been able to.
And a foul being called on Mark Felburn.
Put too much pressure on him. So Mark Tholborn, who's just having a word with his coach, Tony Smith, and just told him to get his hands out and use his feet and play good defence that he knows he can play. So Linton with the ball on the sideline, over to Phil Clark. Clark misses. Anderson for the rebound for Bruins. Over to Mark Tholborn. Throws the long pass to Chris Massey. Massey, looks like he got fouled there from maybe, not sure which one it was, whether it was Steve Davey or I think it was Greg Franks that got him. So Massey to the line for two shots. It's a nice pass from Mark Tholborn over to his teammate Chris Massey.
Can't get that one to go.
Not happy with himself, young Chris Massey. He's normally a reliable shooter.
You didn't put the mockers on him, did you, Glenn?
I think I might have. I think I said he's a good shooter before and he airballed a 3-throw.
There you go, and he's missed both on that occasion, Glenn, as Marty's come down the floor.
Dolborn defending Greg Franks. Phil Clark over to Darren Stamix again. Darren Stamix with a charge. So I'd say that's Darren Stamix's 4th foul now. Great defence from Chris Massey.
Just read that play well to get into position there, and knowing what Darren Stamix was going to do, took the contact and went to the floor.
And they had no charge zone, the, whatever you call it.
Yeah, the cylinder, yep.
So a charge is a charge back then.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Didn't matter if you're under the ring or above the ring. Yeah, we'll see if
Cameron would have too much for us.
Want to zoom out a bit if that would be helpful.
As we got Frank's nice pass inside to Stamix.
Yeah, much better that time. Stamix pulls up for that jumper.
No chance of getting a charge in foul.
That's
Ray
right.
Stearns passes it over to Chris Simons for a miss.
Just long. Can he get his own rebound? No. And then ball on the floor. He plays diving around for it.
Oh, that zoomer. He's got to stop zooming.
Stanwick gets it, gives it off to Davey, and Davey will bring it up. Now we're zooming out a little bit here, Glenn. I wonder who filmed the game.
I'd say it's a Bruins person who the second half, they've probably had a few beers up in the bar.
I'd imagine so.
No, I'm not sure.
But good on them as the timeout's being called. Good on them for filming.
Oh, it's fantastic to be able to see this footage, and I'm just glad that I wasn't the only person that was filming back then as a 14, 15-year-old. And we've got footage of this game here, which is just awesome to see. And we can see all these old players and some, as we said, that aren't with us, but we're able to share these memories with them on YouTube, which I don't think even existed back in 1989.
No, it was never around, nor near the internet. I don't think it was invented back then either, Glenn. So.
I know we had phones that only had landline phones. We didn't have mobile phones back then.
Yes.
And I think we didn't have anything but Atari and probably Commodore 64. So a lot of people spent a lot of time outdoors doing lots of fun stuff. And, rather than being stuck on computers and etc. and mobiles like we do now. So it's probably why there's so many people at the local games here too.
Oh, absolutely. Players restarted. Now Stanwick's inside to Davey. Davey goes up. Now it's out of trouble. And it is now looks like Steve Davies going to be thrown out of the game here. Now, I believe he was trying to pass the ball to the referee, and it's hit the referee on the head. But unfortunately, the referee has decided that wasn't kind of on, and he's decided to disqualify him out of the game here.
Yeah, and I know that Steve Davey and Peter Tholborn, were really good mates. So, yeah, I don't think that Steve would have ever tried to purposely throw the ball at Peter and hurt him or hit him in the head like that. So it's a bit unfortunate that happened, but that's part of basketball. And it's sad to see Steve Davey leave the game so early, as he'd played a pretty good role for Marty's while he was on.
So John Anderson will have the free throws here. And gets the first one to go. So he'll get one more, and then they should get possession here. And rattles the second one home.
A good option there for John Anderson to take the three throws in that instance.
So he extends the Bruins lead out by a little bit more here. Second half action as we come to you from the Myrna Sports Centre. And Simon's tried to pass that one in. Good deflection there by Phil Clark. And Chris Massey wasn't able to reel that one in as he hit the floor pretty hard.
Yeah, glad they're both all right though. But yeah, it was I think Phil Clark landed on Chris Massey's foot.
There you go.
But no harm done. As Massey's got the ball, passes inside Chris Simons on.
Oh, he's on fire, Chris Simons.
The high five to Ray Stearns there. So Chris Simons is really getting the ball in the spots where he can nail shots from around the top of that key and on the side of the key. So good work for Bruins for getting the ball to Chris, and he's coming up with the goods as Darren Stamets gets another 2 points for for Marti's at the top of the key. So it's the bigs that are playing a really big part in this game at the moment. We've got Anderson and Simons against Darren Stanwicks.
And ball on the floor now is
Clark
and Massey try to work out who was trying to get it, but they'll have to jump ball it now here, Glenn. And
Chris Massey had that trademark smile on his face that so many people in Hobart become used to seeing. So, it's I think in that instance it had to be a jump ball. Well, yeah, I think Chris Massey might have jumped over the line then.
Yeah, it's jumped over the line there, Glenn, and that's a violation. So Marty's to get it back. So Linton puts up the shot. Can't get that one to go. Rebound by Anderson. Massey, Simon. Simons puts it up and gets it to go. Another 2 points there for Chris Simons.
Nice round the back pass there from Chris Massey over to Simons.
So Linton with the ball, kicks it off to Clark. Clark goes baseline, but a foul on Massey. Massey just a little bit late. So Marty's to get it back on the side. Whistle on the background. And another timeout being called here, Glenn. Yeah. And we've quickly jumped out of that timeout and back to the action already.
Could have been a foul then by Chris Massey. Didn't let him land.
And that's Massey's second foul within the space of virtually a few seconds.
So that's an interesting call that he hadn't landed then, but it's still side ball, whereas it should have been, it would be 2 shots.
In these days, it would be 2 shots, but back in those days, yes. Once you let the ball go, they would say that would be the completed shot. Meanwhile, ball coming down the floor.
Lost it, number 12, number 13. Put them elbows down, mate.
There's a few flying arms going around here, Glenn.
Greg Litton to Stanwicks. Oh, that's a bit short.
Yeah, but Stanwicks will get his rebound. Nice hands by Stearns, and it should be back to Marty's.
It's been a very good game thus far. It's there's been a lot of skill, a lot of good plays, a lot of good individual plays as well. But probably the biggest thing I've noticed is there's been a lot of teamwork and probably not as many screens set. Oh, that's a charge for Chris Simons.
Simons is not happy.
That is 3 team fouls in a row, and he's shaking the head. I've seen that happen when I've refed him as well, 20 years later. But good defence there.
Good defence there by Greg Linton, who took the charge. And, Chris Simons just a tad out of control there, you would say. But he may differ on that. I don't know. But now,
Chris Simons never fouls. You've only got to ask him.
Well, that's right.
But he only ever complains about a foul if he doesn't think it's right. So he doesn't he's pretty good with the refs in that sense. So I'll give him that. But me and Ronnie are both talking about that as we've refed him in basketball. So
absolutely.
Bit of a stir.
So Marty's with the ball got deflected. Great work there by the Bruins defensively.
Another
now the ball
by Ray
down.
Over to
Massey to Simon, and then Anderson.
You get the fist pump happening. Oh, double fist, double high five there between Chris Simons and Chris Massey.
So Chris Simons got fouled on the initial play, and then Anderson was there for the tip in, but the whistle had gone by then. So Chris Simons will go to the line for 2.
Look at this textbook 3-throw shooting style.
And gets that one to go first.
He's had a good game, hasn't he, Ronnie?
He has. He's right up there in the votes for a 3-2-1, Glenn.
He is
and
indeed.
Makes the second.
He's played a great game for his Bruins club.
Certainly has. He's had a fantastic game here, Chris Simons, and no doubt will be loving to see this tape afterwards. And the shot goes up by Linton.
And Greg Linton's had a good game as well, hasn't he? He's been very consistent in this game.
Certainly, he's had a good game as well too. Anderson has also had a good game. Now the ball getting put up there by Massey, who couldn't get that one to go. Franks gets it, tips it away to Linton. Linton has Finlayson in support. Will use him. Rejected, though, by Anderson. Get that out of here as he throws that down to court number 1.
John Anderson is a big unit, so it's going to be a pretty tough shot to make when he's right in front of you in the keyway. Linton over to Finlayson. Unfortunately missed. Good rebound by Finlayson over to Stanwicks. Nice teamwork from both teams again.
It's good little pocket pass there. I thought Franks might have took the shot, but turned it down for an extra pass. Now Stanwicks for 3, just short. Franks with the rebound. Now gives the ball off to, looked like it might have been Finlayson there that took the shot, or could have been, Clark or Linton, one or the other. I'm just trying to see who's out on the floor there now.
Yeah, it's either Finlayson or Franks, I think, had that one.
We just weren't, the camera just wasn't zoomed out enough for us. Of course, we're in the old 4.3 version 2 of screens, not the 16.9. As Simons knocks it down once
again. It must have been his birthday, I reckon, on this day that this game was played. He is hitting everything.
He has had a blinder of a game, and certainly making sure his Bruins can get this win today at the Murdoch Sports Centre.
And he's wrapped it up with a defensive rebound as well.
And a foul being called on Franks. Franks probably not believing that one, but the foul will be assessed nonetheless.
And there wasn't very often if Greg Franks would, he might ask a question, but he's never going to go on with it as well. So he's a real true sportsman.
Certainly is. So Bruins with a handy lead here. And they're keeping a bit of a buffer here, Glenn, to make sure that Marty's don't get a real kind of close run at them. Second free throw missed. And good job there, Anderson. Turnaround J is not good.
Stamix with the boards. Yes.
Yep.
Darren Stamix with another board there. So he's interested to see how many rebounds he's got. Has he got fouled there? Possibly by Stearns. Chris Simons got a clean steal, except someone else grabbed.
I'm thinking by the reaction, it's on Simons. Just by, I could see he put his head to the ball. I mean, don't tell me. I'm sure he must have fouled then, potentially.
Or Chris wasn't happy then that he's going to the line for 2 shots because it appeared that Darren Stamix was passing the ball, but we weren't sure because he got grabbed on the arm. So give the shooter the benefit of the doubt, and Stamix has made the first, and now he's up for the second, and he's made both 3 throws. So he's had a great game overall, really, Darren Stamix. He hasn't had that much help from any of his other forwards in the scoring department, but everyone's sort of chimed in and done their little bit in different ways. So
the shot goes up by Linton and gets that one to go.
Another nice shot there from Greg Linton. He's played a really good game as well. So it's been a lot, as we said, both teams have played really well. There's been it hasn't been a disappointing game at all to watch. It's been very exciting. The teamwork's been fantastic. And there's been some great individual plays as well, as Chris Simons got the ball over to Anderson. Back out to Stearns, who steady the ship. Malcolm to Jersey. Ooh, nice attempt to get it inside to Simons, although John Anderson's got it and will get fouled by number 13, and Anderson will go to the line for 2 shots.
Been really aggressive here, Glenn, and he worked his way to the basket on that occasion. There's no let up here by none of these guys. They're really determined on every possession. I don't think I've seen one player drop their head or kind of just give up on a play. They're still attacking the play like if their life depends on it.
Yeah, no, it's been a really good, I think the effort, if you're not going to put in 110% effort back in those days, then you go and sit on the bench. So you give it all you got, and then if you're knackered, you go and ask for a sub. It's interesting that you can see 7 players inside the 3-throw line when they're shooting a foul shot.
Yes, you can. Back in those days, I think you could have many in that key.
You could have as many as you wanted back then. So now you can't. You can only have 5 in there.
Correct.
There's Linton from the top of the key again. Misses. Greg Finlayson with a nice rebound. He's got a number of offensive rebounds during this game.
He would near have a double-double as well too, Glenn, I'd imagine, as the ball goes out of court.
Yeah.
So he's certainly getting his stats up in this game as well.
Just not sure how many shots Finney's made. He hasn't had a whole heap of shots, so that might... But rebounds, he's certainly...
Yeah, he's certainly right up there.
Stamix over to Greg Linton again. Linton to Stamix, but picked off by John Anderson. We've got a 2-on-2...
Oh, body's going down on the floor.
I think he called travel then.
That was the travel first, rightio. And of course, they just take the ball to the side and play it straight away, Glenn. They don't give it to the
Yeah,
referees.
it's good. I think it was really good back then how you didn't have to give the ball to the referee if there was, unless there was a foul.
Foul,
But,
yeah.
So just made the game go a lot quicker than what it does now, and more entertaining for the fans. As Darren Stamix was fouled and he's off the line for 1-on-1. So the referee's been really good today in this game as well. I've been very impressed with both Peter Tholborn and Darren Wilson.
Yes. And of course, with the 1-on-1, if you make the first one, you get your second one. If you miss the first one, it is play on.
And Darren Stamix makes both there, so he'd be up to the 25, 30-point mark, I imagine, in this game.
Absolutely, he would be.
15 to 20 rebounds as well.
Shot goes up there by Malcolm de Jersey. Couldn't get that one to go. He gets the ball back and makes no mistake this time. De Jersey with the 2.
And De Jersey was a former state under-16 player, only... 3 years before this, back in 86, so it's good to see now De Jersey playing some good minutes in A grade back in 89 for Bruins.
So
I'm not sure what happened there.
Was that a treble? Or double dribble?
Greg Linton.
Yeah,
gets
Linton,
another,
yeah.
So Greg Linton gets another 2 points, so he's really bothered the scoreboard table as well, so... Ray Stearns,
Good
lucky
pass
not to
into
get
Chris
a charge.
Simons. Decided to go no call against Finlayson there.
And that was a good pass over to Chris Simons, who finished off the nice easy 2 points. Greg Linton missed a layup.
Anderson with another rebound. Anderson with the NFL type pass.
And it's out.
Goes down. Pass that one to the kids down there who are on the baseline.
Phil Clark with the ball over to Stamix. Stamix back to Clark. Clark. Oh, that's a bit short from Phil Clark there. And Stearns.
Oh, beautiful.
Bit of showtime there around the back. Nice pass there.
Oh, good pass.
Over to Burke. Burke lost it over to Greg Finlayson, picked up the steal, and we've got Stamix 1-on-1.
Oh, nice.
Pass to Clark again. Clark missed it. Chris Simons. Oh, Chris Simons lost it.
It's like it's a comedy of errors here, Glenn.
It is a bit, actually, isn't it?
Oh, goodness. The Jersey with it now.
Now De Jersey, probably the youngest on the court, just steadies the ship and passes it off to Stearns.
Who would have thought the youngest out of the whole lot to steady the ship, hey, Glenn?
Yeah. Oh,
the ball got deflected.
Another turnover.
Oh, and a Falcon. Yeah, it's a Falcon, folks.
Stamix again. Nice 2 points there from Darren Stamix off a pass from Greg Linton. So it's coming near the end of the game now. We've got Burke controlling the ball for Bruins. Nice shot, top of the key. Can it drop? Yes, it does. Well done to Dean Burke there. I just saw one of my old teammates, Gaz Hunt, there running around the court, so I reckon our Dodgers team would be playing next game on court too.
There you go, Glenn. You'll have to start suiting up, I reckon, and get out there. As the shot goes up and it goes in as the foul was called, and Phil Clark will go to the line for 1.
Looks like a few tired old souls out there at the moment. Simons and Darren Stamix with their hands on their hips.
I was going to say, Marti's only had 6 players for this game.
Yeah, I think they may have had 7 now that we found
Chivers.
Mark Chivers come on the court just to help them out when they needed a bit of a spell. So it was good to see Mark out there for the time he was.
Darren Stanwicks
massively boxed young Dean Burke there. So
get that out of here.
Stay out, Dean Burke.
Don't come into my place on that one. Stearns. Now Anderson. Anderson puts it to the floor. Tough runner. And
no foul.
No foul there.
Oh, no, nothing.
No. Oh, yeah, I looked confused there because I saw one of the players look up to the scoreboard there.
So she
it could be the other court.
Oh, another 2 points for Darren Stamix.
And there's the siren in the background, Glenn.
What a great game that was to bring us back from 1989 between Hobart and Bruins. And the final score was what, Ronnie?
It was 75 to 66, Glenn.
So we hope everyone enjoyed the game. And here we are. We have got our Dodgers team playing against... I can't see who we're playing against, but we are there warming up. So, but yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed the game. And see you next time.